Hey guys, I wanted to come to you today and share some things that we do in our summer homeschool, like what that looks like and how we kind of manage having 5 kids, having our own businesses, homeschooling, and just all of those things, eating healthy, like meals made at home. So I just wanted to share some things that work for us and maybe they'll help you too. It's always like a learning thing. We're always tweaking things. So this is what we're currently doing, but it's always changing. So a big thing we've used for a number of years, quite a long time, I bought a daily routine checklist on Etsy, and then I print it out at various times and I laminate them for each one of my kids. And this is kind of their way, like if they want to have a privilege, like right now they're really into riding dirt bikes on our property. So if they want to go ride their dirt bikes, then they have to make sure that all of their things on their checklist are done and that they have checked in with both parents and gotten the okay that it's time to go ride a dirt bike, or with my oldest son, maybe play his little video game or whatever. So he's got to get his responsibilities, so chores and schoolwork stuff done in order to have their privileges. So we don't do as much school in the summer, but we still do school throughout the summer. And this summer's a little different because we're leaving in August to do a 6-week road trip, and then we're going on an adventure. We're going to be going to another country for a year. And so I told my kids, much to their dismay, I wanted them to do a little more school this summer. During May, June, and July when we were off of our homeschool group. And I wanted them to get more done over those 3 months so that we can do less when we're in the other country and we can just explore and not feel tied down to like a homeschool schedule and really just have like a break. So I'll go through my kids' checklists. They're kind of similar. They have some of the same things and then some are different depending on the kid. So my 7-year-old, he has oil pulling. I'm really trying to have them do oil pulling because it's really good for your teeth and it helps detox you, keep your gums and teeth healthy. So I do allow my kids to do like 15 minutes on the computer playing like a Wild Kratts game or something like that, or watching one of the Wild Kratts videos is what he really is into, learning about the animals. And he does his oil pulling at the same time. So I try to get them do that every morning. They have their supplements that I have all laid out, and they have to go take those with some water. My 7-year-old's chore is we have like a little cordless vacuum or a broom, and he's supposed to either sweep or vacuum in the entryway and kitchen area and fix all the shoes so that they're all set up, because with 7 people coming and going, I have a rule that I try to stick by, that everyone keeps one pair of shoes out by the door. Otherwise they need to put them away in their rooms, because we otherwise turn out to just have like mounds of shoes. So he is supposed to set the shoes up nicely, vacuum or sweep, and then we're working on a weekly Bible verse. So they work on that Bible verse. I thought I had the little book. I'll pull it out in a second and show you guys our Bible verse book that we're working through. And then of course he has his math lesson, reading, piano. They all do those things every day. So the daily things are math, reading, spelling for the girls, piano for all of them, and their Bible verse is for everybody. And then they have their individual things. So making sure their rooms are clean, and then their individual. Another thing I've added to their list this time is I want them to get into the daily habit of choosing an exercise. Even if it's 15 minutes, I just said, move your body for 15 minutes. So whether it's the trampoline or, going on a walk or swimming in the pond, or maybe, my 10-year-old has swimming lessons or swim team, something like that. Just 15 minutes every day of moving your body, because I have finally, at 38, gotten into the habit of daily exercise, and I really want them to ingrain that now, the daily exercise. So I also added to the bottoms of their chart 3 daily veggies, because it doesn't sound like very much, but for them to get 3 servings of veggies every day, it's quite a challenge sometimes. And so like tonight or last night for dinner, I said, okay, this is what we're having for dinner. I'll let you guys choose your veggie though. If you want to have a salad, you can have that. If you want to have, my 7-year-old just wanted cut up bell peppers, so he ate a bunch of bell peppers. My 12-year-old wanted carrots, so she ate carrots and hummus. Some ideas of chores, which I can post some ideas like for the different ages, but my 10-year-old is in charge of the bathrooms. So she like deep cleans the bathrooms once a week over the weekend. And then throughout the week, she kind of wipes them down with maybe like, you know, some spray if the sinks look dirty or if the toilet looks dirty or the mirrors or whatever. And I want her to kind of go through and make sure there's not just stuff out in the bathroom. We've recently tried to implement like zones. So her zone is the bathrooms. Okay, go check your bathrooms and make sure that they are clean for the day before you get to go out and have your privilege. Let's see, so hers is pretty similar checklist. Besides her different chore is the bathroom. My 12-year-old's chore is basically anything animals. So she collects the eggs, she makes sure all the chickens, cats, and dogs have food and water, she cleans the litter out for the cats when they're using the litter box. She, you know, sweeps up the cat house that we have, like our cat shed out there. She makes sure, you know, their beds are good and everybody's fed and in for the night, and just helps, you know, take scraps out to the chickens. What else does she do? She does just dog baths. So she gave them both a bath last night. So 12-year-old, everything animals, because that's what she loves. So she's pretty happy to do anything animals. So that's her zone, is the animals, plus making sure her room is clean and her stuff is picked up. I realize that's a big problem, is just putting our own stuff away that we get out. My 14-year-old is in charge of the kitchen. So he does all of the dishes and the counters and makes sure it's all put away. So that's a big job because it's a full-time job. It's always coming. So he does the kitchen and the dishes and the counters and, you know, wipes the table down. And then my 17-year-old helps with some other things. So she takes the trash out, she takes the recycling out, she fixes the couches and the pillows because those get messed up. So whenever she notices that they're messy, and before bed, she makes sure and before she leaves the house, because she's driving, so she makes sure those things are done. She also sorts the laundry. So I do the laundry, and then she will go through and sort it and just put it in everyone's rooms. She doesn't fold it. They can fold their own laundry and put it away in their own drawers, but she puts the laundry where it goes, and she folds and puts all the towels and things like that away. That's for the whole family. On the weekends, her weekly chore, we have like some weekly things that we do, not every day. She helps like once a week choosing. We have her choose like one of the weekly chores. So she either mops the house, like sweeps and mops. She will clean the fridge out sometimes, which my 7-year-old wants to help take over, is cleaning the baseboards and the door jambs and spots on the walls and spots on the cabinets. And then dusting. So those are some of our like more once a month type things. We do a ton of vacuuming. I got my, I think it's a Dyson cordless vacuum at Costco, and I use that thing multiple times a day all over the house because we have hardwood floors in our whole house. We don't even have carpet at all. So I'm constantly using that thing everywhere, and it's awesome. It's easy, and I like to be the one to do the sweeping because I don't feel like then I don't have to ask people like, hey, can you do the sweeping? My 7-year-old does the entryway, but you know, I still go over it. So that's chores. Some of my kids have CC, since we do classical conversations, they have some of that work. Like my 12-year-old is working on beginnings of Latin, and my girls are working through some essentials work this summer with a tutor. And then the tutor's also working with my son that's going into Challenge 1, high school level. She's working on a number of the projects that they're going to do throughout the school year, but he's doing it over the summer. So he's writing his research paper on his science. He's, doing his literature papers. He's doing a number of things. He's working on American documents and things like that. So he's doing all of those. In the mornings when we're actually home, and it's not every day, I like to sit. Lately it's just been the little 3 kids, but it used to be all 5 of them, which makes me really sad. But right now we're reading through, this is still our favorite Bible to read through. We've read through it a number of times. It reads so much like a story that we just love it. It's called The Child's Story Bible by Catherine Voss. We are reading The Green Ember by S.D. Smith. This is supposed to be one of the all-time best read aloud books. So I'm really excited. We're still at the beginning. I've heard it's I think it's a trilogy, something like that. There's at least 2, maybe 3 books in this series, and people just rave about them. This is their favorite book they've ever read to their kids. So we're just kind of at the beginning, handful of chapters of that. And then we read through these books a ton. And this is actually, so these are made by YWAM. They're called Christian Heroes Then and Now, and they're about all different missionaries. And we have loved every single one of them that we've read. We've read tons of them. And this is actually what we're going to be doing when we are away for the year. There's this awesome homeschool mom that created study guides basically that go with these. And it's kind of like a unit study on each person. And it talks about where they're from and what language they speak and a character trait that they embody. And it might have a verse for their life and copy work surrounding that. And so we're actually going to mostly be doing our morning time reading and going through the study guides that accompany. I bought the next 10 books of this series that goes with the study guide. So we're going to bring those with us. I'm actually going to get the kids a couple of paper white Kindles for all of their reading books besides these. I'm going to bring these with me because I just bought the next set of 10. But other than that, I'm going to try to find everything I can on the Kindle. And the kids' Kindle version gives you access for a couple years to all the kids' books on Amazon. So we're going to use that for our travels. It'll make it a little bit easier not to bring hundreds of books with us, because as homeschoolers, it's really hard to narrow down the books. If you homeschool, you probably know how that is, or if you're a big reader. So we're excited about getting the Kindles. I'm going to hope that there's a sale. I've heard that they go on sale a lot in July. So I'm going to be doing that. So let's see. For myself, some of the things that keep me sane, my husband lovingly bought me this chart that it's a magnet, and it goes on my fridge, and it just has the days. I write in what day, the dates. And this is where I kind of, at the beginning of the week, usually Sunday or maybe Monday morning, I go and fill this out. I look through my freezer, my fridge, see what meat I have maybe that I wanted to use that week, or maybe I have veggies that I'm really needing to use up. So I start planning out all of our meals. Down at the bottom, I have ideas like taco days, barbecue days, casserole, homemade pizza, different soups, salads, pastas, and my family loves eggs and rice. They could eat that every day. So when in doubt, but my husband's been on a Cobb salad kick, so he's been having Cobb salads every day for the last couple weeks. So it's been easy for me to kind of go through as we're preparing to leave our home for a year. We are trying to clean out the freezers and eat everything in there before I buy more food. So it's been really nice having him do salads, and then I'm like, okay, kids, this is what we're having tonight. We're cleaning the freezer out. So last night we had some pasta, and I had frozen sauce I had made in there. I kind of made them a daily routine, and I wanting them to check in on their chores throughout the day. I gave them outside activity ideas because sometimes they're like, we have nothing to do, we're so bored. And I'm like, really, you guys have this beautiful property to go play on. And then I wrote at the bottom, do you want something? If you want something, like doing something fun, a play date with a friend, screen time, an outing, a movie night, video game time, first ask yourself these questions. How was your attitude to your siblings and parents today? Are your chores done and your zone tidy? Is your schoolwork finished for the day? Any other responsibilities you're supposed to be doing? Ask both daddy and mommy. And so that's what they're supposed to be running through when they want something. And, you know, outside of, they just need to make sure that their checklists are done. And then we have, I made just, you guys, I'm not techie. So I made this super simple chart for their daily chores, their zone they're supposed to keep tidy, and then their weekly chores that they're supposed to do, you know, just weekly. So, and some of them just rotate through those things. So, yeah, that's that. Some other things that I like to do at the beginning of the week is I look through the things I have to do that are already on the schedule. Then I do a date with one of the kids every week. I'm trying really hard to do a date with my husband every week. It's challenging because a lot of times our schedules do not match up, right? But even if we just do like coffee, or he wanted to go to like get acai bowls one morning, so it's not, you know, something healthy. We can get coffee in an acai bowl. So, and last week we did a overnight date, which was really fun. If you've never tried it, we've never done this before in almost 18 years, is we had each of the kids spend the night at a friend's house, and we had an at-home date overnight, and it was so much fun and so much cheaper than normally. We'd have someone spend the night with them here and we would go to a hotel or something, but it was so much fun. We just got takeout, and I watched Top Gun for the first time ever in my life. So it was really fun. If you've never tried that, you should definitely try it, because we really enjoyed it. And we were both like, why have we never done this? We've never been alone in our house before. Yeah, I think that's it. I would say with the chores, you got to match them up to where people are developmentally, but you probably are underestimating what your kids can help with. It's been a little like our oldest two used to switch off the dishes one, and then they would swap and do the other things. But with one of them working a lot and being gone, driving, going, seeing friends and things like that, it just was not realistic to have her in charge of dishes because she's not here as much, you know. And so then we have piles of dishes piling up all day. So it's worked better to have our second oldest be in charge of dishes, and it'll probably just keep rotating down as the kids get older and busier. But there's so many things that they can do. You know, little kids can help with all sorts of things. Like our 7-year-old's super excited about learning how to clean the baseboards. So he wants to take that on once a month. We will see how that goes. I'm sure it won't be the same as a 17-year-old doing it, but those are some of my summer homeschool tips and kind of how we manage all the things, you know. So with the scheduling each week, you know how they say to put the big rocks in first, because then the little rocks are all going to fill themselves in there. So my big rocks are, you know, spending time with my kids and with my husband. And, you know, I've been pretty good. I'm going to do a daily routine, like morning routine video, because I've been doing pretty good about getting up early, doing my quiet time with my Bible and with my Bible study, and then doing my workout each day. My workout hasn't been happening early in the mornings, but I've been doing pretty good with my daily routine things. But so those things definitely come every day. But filling in the time with your family, and then I have to fill in some work time too. And then all the other things just fill up all the rest of that space. You know, I don't feel like I'm ever sitting around with nothing to do. So, but if you don't be intentional about the time you're spending with your family members and your time maybe you're spending in your business or your quiet time in the mornings, then it will get filled in by other life things. That's just the way it goes, because we're busy people, right? And we fill our calendars up a little bit too much and don't leave very much white space, which I really love. So hope that was helpful. I'll see you guys on the next one.